Hi everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome to Needles and Nerds. So today I'm going to be working on creating my contribution to the Costube Stash Swap. In our last video, you got to see all of the different items that we received from Elizabeth Estervig, and I'm really excited to put them all together. As I looked at it and as I considered all of the pieces that we got, the burlap, the frilly blue trim, and one of the laces that was sent particularly seemed to be very cohesive and go well together. With the burlap, I started to really get kind of a farm girl vintage look idea in my mind. I had seen kind of a lot more cottagecore kind of things on TikTok recently, so that aesthetic also came to mind. Being a redhead, I definitely was drawn to Judy Garland styles. I kind of was thinking Dorothy, but really I was actually a little bit more inspired by one of her looks in Easter Parade. And I also was thinking a little bit Anne of Green Gables, really kind of around turn of the century. It was the era that I was thinking I wanted to be inspired by, but I wanted it to be kind of a modern look with the vintage twist to it. And then I thought, all of this seems to be very close to Rachel Maxey. I'm sure that she has something. And she actually did have a tutorial on making a Dorothy dress. So I looked at that because I decided I wanted a Pinafore Apron dress. So I looked at Rachel Maxey's video in making the Dorothy Gale dress. That, and I also looked at general tutorials on how to make a Pinafore dress. And I will include everything that I found in the description below. And from that information, I decided that I was going to just take all of that and kind of freehand my own pattern and see how it turned out. I thought that I wanted to use the lace a little bit more than I did, but I ended up deciding that a more minimalistic design with it worked better. But I was really happy with how everything turned out. And so I'm going to walk you through that process and how it came together right now.
So I wanted the skirt to fall just below the knee, so I measured about 30 inches from the waist point down to below the knee, and it ended up 30 inches, which is actually my waist size. And I wanted the width of my skirt to be about twice my waist size, as was the advice of the tutorial I followed. So I made that 60 inches or 30 inches just on the fold there, which was fortunately pretty much the width of the fabric. And then I cut that into two pieces, so I had a front and a back, and then I cut the back into two pieces, so then I could have the side seams for the pockets and then a back seam for the opening. Then I took the width I wanted the apron to be, and then I added an extra inch for seam allowance, and I went ahead and cut that out of the burlap as well. And I essentially tried to make a square out of it, and I made that the height and the width to create that front apron shape. After that, I cut out pocket shapes. Basically, I made it to where I could fit my phone or my hand inside of it and have additional seam allowance. I think I initially ended up having to cut an extra pair of pockets because the first ones I made too small. And then the first thing I started with was adding the pockets to the front and back pieces, so then they would just integrate as part of the side seam when I connected the front and the back together. And I also finished it with top stitching. I'll have a really good tutorial I found for that in the description below as well. It just kind of helps finish off the pockets a little bit more. It's not quite actually top stitching. I forget the specific term for it, but understitching. It's really been helpful in finishing off my pockets. Then I connected the front and the back with the side seams, and then I did the back seam, and then I gathered the skirt to the waistband. I made the waistband 30 inches plus a little bit so then it would be able to overlap. So here you have my apron piece already connected, and I went ahead and added the straps to the top and had that inside the piece then I flipped it inside out so then it would come out outside like that. And I took the ruffle and I just folded it in half and it made quite a lovely ruffly sleeve. I added the apron part to the inner part of the waistband while I left the outer part of the waistband disconnected, so then I could top stitch it all the way around when I connected everything. Then I decided where to place the straps, where it felt the most comfortable and where it looked very nice with the cross in the back. I positioned it so then once I top stitched the rest of the waistband to finish that off, that it would be hidden inside and it would all just fit as one coherent piece. And then here I go, top stitching the waistband in place, just finishing everything off and hiding all the raw edges inside. Finally, I decided to finish off the back with some snaps, and it was pretty much done. The only additional thing that I didn't show is that I added lace to the hem. I didn't actually hem it because it was exactly the right length, and I was using the selvage for the bottom, so the lace just covered that up, and it worked really well.
So after I finished the construction of the dress, Mindy and I went apple picking, and we thought that that would be a wonderful backdrop for this dress. So we decided to take a lot of pictures, and it turned out so well. I really absolutely loved it. A lot of the pictures are on our Instagram, but here's some footage of how it fully turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to notify you when we post again. We don't really have a regular posting schedule right now, so it's going to be the best way to be notified when we have something new. Follow us on Instagram at needlesandnerds, where you can see a lot of pictures of our finished projects, as well as the different adventures that we get up to, and other sewing and nerd related things that we do. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!